A Stoic man values peace, stability, and control over his own life. But the wrong woman can throw all of that into chaos. An emotionally unstable woman will drain your energy, distort your reality, and make your life a constant battle of stress and confusion. And the worst part? If you don't recognize the signs early, you will get trapped. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." But if you choose the wrong woman, your thoughts will no longer be your own. Watch until the end to learn the 7 clear signs of emotional instability so you never fall into the trap of dating a woman who will ruin your peace. And if you've ever dealt with a woman like this, share your story in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe so more men can protect themselves from these destructive patterns. Chapter 1. Always playing the victim. An emotionally unstable woman refuses to take responsibility for anything in her life. No matter what happens, she will always find a way to shift the blame onto someone else. She is never the one at fault, everyone around her is. Every ex-boyfriend she has ever had? They were all cruel, toxic, or abusive. Every friendship that has fallen apart? It was because her so-called friends turned against her. Every job she has lost? It was her boss's fault, never hers. She creates a narrative in which she is constantly under attack, a helpless victim in a world that refuses to treat her fairly. At first, this might draw you in. You might feel an overwhelming sense of sympathy for her. You may find yourself thinking, she has been through so much. Maybe I can be the one to help her. And this is exactly how she lures you into her web. By presenting herself as a victim, she places you in the role of the savior. She makes you feel like you are the only one who truly understands her, the only person who can help her heal from all the pain she has endured. And once you step into that role, your entire relationship will revolve around trying to fix her problems that she will never take responsibility for. This pattern of behavior is incredibly dangerous. It traps you in an emotional cycle where you are constantly trying to keep her happy, constantly trying to solve the issues she creates, and constantly sacrificing your own well-being in the process. But here's the truth, she does not want solutions. She does not want to grow or improve. She thrives on chaos and dysfunction because playing the victim gives her power. It allows her to manipulate situations to her advantage, making herself look like the innocent party even when she is the one causing the problems. She will twist reality, exaggerate conflicts, and distort the truth to make herself appear blameless. And if you ever call her out on her behavior, she will immediately flip the script. Suddenly, you are the problem. You are cruel for questioning her. You are heartless for not understanding her pain. She will make you feel guilty for even suggesting that she might be responsible for her own circumstances. She will cry, argue, and gaslight you into believing that she is the real victim, even when she is the one who started the drama in the first place. The more you try to reason with her, the deeper you sink into her trap. The worst part? No matter how much you do for her, it will never be enough. You could dedicate your life to trying to fix her issues, and she would still find a way to be miserable. You could make endless sacrifices, give her all of your time, energy, and emotional support, and she would still claim that she is suffering. Because at the end of the day, it is not about you, it is about her need to control the narrative. As long as she can convince herself and others that she is the victim, she never has to take accountability for anything. She can continue to live in a world where nothing is her fault and everyone else is to blame. A Stoic man recognizes this pattern immediately. He does not allow himself to be manipulated by someone who refuses to take responsibility for their own life. He understands that a person who cannot accept accountability is incapable of growth, and a woman who refuses to grow will only drag him down with her. Instead of getting caught in her web of excuses and victimhood, he walks away. Because a man who values his peace knows that real strength comes from self-awareness, and no relationship is worth sacrificing his own sanity for someone who refuses to evolve. Chapter 2. Excessive Jealousy. A woman's jealousy is not just an emotion, it is a direct reflection of her emotional stability, her self-perception, and her ability to trust. A woman who is secure in herself understands that a strong relationship is built on mutual trust and respect. She does not see every interaction as a threat, nor does she view love as a fragile thing that needs constant protection. Instead, she trusts in the bond she has built and in the character of the man she is with. But an emotionally unstable woman does not think this way. She operates from a place of deep fear, self-doubt, and insecurity. She is unable to trust herself, and as a result, she cannot trust you. Every conversation you have, every social interaction, and even the way you carry yourself becomes a potential source of suspicion in her mind. Her thoughts are consumed by worst-case scenarios, and she is constantly searching for proof that her fears are justified. At first, this might not seem like a red flag. Her jealousy may come across as passion, as an intense desire to keep you close. She may cling to you, constantly seeking reassurance, wanting to know where you are and who you are with at all times. She will tell you that she just loves you so much that the thought of losing you is unbearable. This level of obsession might even feel flattering at first. It can feel like she cares deeply, like she values you so much that she simply cannot bear the idea of sharing your attention with anyone else. Many men mistake this for devotion, believing that her jealousy is proof of her feelings. But make no mistake, this is not love. This is not affection. What she is feeling is fear, masked as attachment. She does not want a healthy, trusting relationship, she wants control. Her jealousy will seep into every aspect of your life. A casual interaction with a waitress at a restaurant will lead to accusations of flirting. A professional discussion with a female colleague will be seen as betrayal. Even time spent with your own family, your mother, your sister, or a childhood friend can trigger her insecurities. In her mind, every woman you encounter is a threat. She will treat every person in your life as competition, as someone who is trying to take you away from her. And because her insecurity runs deep, no amount of reassurance will ever be enough. The more you try to calm her fears, the more she will demand. You could eliminate every female friend from your life, stop engaging in casual conversations with women, delete your social media, and spend every waking moment with her, and yet she would still find a reason to suspect you. A slight change in your tone, a delayed response to a text, or even an innocent glance in another direction could spark another emotional meltdown. Her paranoia is not based on your actions, it is rooted in her own unresolved emotional wounds. No matter what you do, she will always find a reason to be suspicious because the problem is not external. It is inside her. What makes this behavior truly dangerous is the way she will use guilt and manipulation to weigh you down. Every accusation will be laced with emotion, making you feel as though you are the one causing her pain. She will cry, argue, and plead, convincing you that if you truly loved her, you would do more to reassure her. She will make you feel as if setting boundaries is proof that you are hiding something. And over time, you will begin to change. You will start walking on eggshells, carefully adjusting your behavior to avoid setting her off. You will stop doing things that you once enjoyed, not because you want to, but because you are exhausted from constantly trying to manage her emotions. You will withdraw from friends, avoid social settings, and become more isolated, more controlled, and more drained. A relationship like this does not just suffocate, it destroys. A woman who is ruled by jealousy will never be satisfied, no matter how much of yourself you give up for her. You will lose your sense of freedom, your peace of mind, and eventually your sense of self. And the worst part? The more you change to accommodate her, the more power she will gain over you. You will become trapped in a cycle where you are constantly trying to prove yourself, constantly trying to reassure her, and constantly failing because no amount of reassurance will ever be enough. A Stoic man recognizes this toxic pattern for what it is: emotional instability disguised as love. He understands that true love is built on trust, not paranoia. He knows that a woman who cannot control her own emotions will inevitably try to control him instead. He does not waste his time arguing, justifying himself, or sacrificing his peace for someone who refuses to take responsibility for their own insecurities. The moment he realizes that a woman's jealousy is not just a fleeting emotion, but a fundamental part of who she is, he does not engage. He does not negotiate. He simply walks away. Because a man who values his peace understands one thing above all else: love should never feel like a prison. Chapter 3. Moving too fast. When a woman is emotionally unstable, she lacks the ability to establish and maintain healthy boundaries. She does not take the time to genuinely get to know you, to understand your values, or to allow the relationship to develop naturally. Instead, she rushes through every stage as if she is trying to fast-track an emotional connection before any real foundation has been built. From the moment she sets her sights on you, she behaves as if she already knows you are the one, without pausing to consider whether you are actually compatible. She pushes for immediate commitment, showers you with overwhelming attention and affection, and creates the illusion of a deep connection that, at first, feels exhilarating. At the beginning, this can seem like a whirlwind romance, the kind of passion that only happens in movies. She might make grand romantic gestures, talk about your future together as if it's already written in stone, and insist that what you have is special, unlike anything she's ever experienced before. The urgency, the deep emotional intensity, and the seemingly effortless bond can make you feel like you've stumbled into something rare and extraordinary. But this isn't love, it's instability disguised as infatuation. She isn't falling for you as a person, she's latching onto the idea of you. She doesn't care about who you truly are, but rather the role she wants you to play in her life. This isn't a genuine connection, it's an emotional escape. She is trying to fill a void that has nothing to do with you and everything to do with her own unresolved struggles. This isn't devotion, it's desperation. And once she has you fully committed, the cracks start to show. What once felt like passion begins to feel suffocating. She needs constant reassurance, endless validation, and your full emotional investment at all times. If you don't text back fast enough, she spirals. If you want to spend time with your friends, she takes it as a personal betrayal. If you express the need for personal space, she accuses you of pulling away. She becomes possessive, demanding, and emotionally exhausting. She rearranges her entire life around you, cancelling plans with friends, neglecting responsibilities, and making you the center of her world before you've even had the chance to fully understand who she is. At first, you might mistake this for deep devotion. You might think, she just loves me so much. But love that is healthy does not require suffocation. She doesn't want space, and she doesn't respect boundaries. She expects you to be available at all times, and any attempt to create distance, whether for work, hobbies, or personal time, is met with guilt-tripping, accusations, or emotional outbursts. She might cry and say she feels abandoned, or she might lash out in anger, accusing you of being cold or unloving. No matter how you try to set limits, she refuses to acknowledge them. Her emotions dictate the pace of the relationship, and she expects you to keep up. And here is where it becomes dangerous. A relationship that moves too fast does not allow for rational thinking. You don't have time to assess whether you are truly compatible because you're being pulled into an emotional storm. She might start talking about marriage or moving in together long before it makes sense. She might pressure you to commit at a level you are not ready for, insisting that if you don't, it means you don't truly care. Everything feels urgent, as if slowing down would mean the connection would disappear. But in reality, love does not need to be rushed. True connection takes time to build. Rushing into commitment before a foundation is solid only leads to instability, frustration, and regret. A Stoic man understands this. He knows that love, when real, is steady and does not require reckless intensity. He does not mistake obsession for connection, nor does he allow himself to be swept away by someone else's emotional chaos. He remains grounded, observing a woman's behavior with clarity and discernment. He watches how she handles time, how she reacts to boundaries, and how she treats the natural pace of a relationship. He understands that when someone moves too fast, it is rarely about love, it is about fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of facing unresolved pain. Fear of not being enough. A man who values his peace does not allow himself to be dragged into that storm. He does not let himself be blinded by the illusion of urgency. Instead, he remains steady, setting his own pace, and refusing to be rushed into something that is not built to last. And if a woman cannot respect that, if she sees his patience as hesitation or his boundaries as rejection, he does not fight to explain himself. He simply steps back because he understands that love should be something that grows, not something that crashes. Love should feel secure, not desperate. And any woman who cannot see that is not ready for the kind of relationship he is willing to offer. Chapter 4. She's a liar. Trust is the foundation of every strong relationship. Without it, nothing else matters. A relationship without trust is like a house built on sand. It may look solid at first, but it will eventually collapse under the weight of deception. An emotionally unstable woman lies, not just about big things, but about small, unnecessary details that make you question everything. At first, the lies might seem harmless. She might exaggerate stories, twist the truth to make herself look better, or omit key details. You might brush it off, thinking she's just trying to impress you or that she's a little dramatic. But over time, you will start to notice contradictions. Her words and actions will not align. One day, she will tell you one thing, and the next day, she will say something completely different. At first, you will second-guess yourself. Maybe you misheard. Maybe you misunderstood. But the inconsistencies will pile up. She will tell you she was somewhere she wasn't. She will change details in a story she has already told. She will blame others for things she herself has done. You will start to feel like you are piecing together a puzzle where the pieces never quite fit. And when you finally begin to suspect something, when you start asking questions, the real manipulation begins. When you catch her in a lie, she will not admit to it. Instead, she will gaslight you. She will tell you that you are overreacting, that you are misunderstood, or that you are crazy for even questioning her. She will twist the situation until you start doubting yourself. She will cry, she will act hurt, and she will make you feel like the villain for even suspecting her. And if you keep pushing, she will turn the situation around, making you feel guilty for doubting her. She will accuse you of being controlling, of not trusting her enough, of being insecure. In reality, she is the one who has broken the trust. But by the time she's done manipulating you, you will start to wonder if you were wrong for even asking. This is the mind game of a pathological liar. She does not lie out of necessity, she lies out of habit. She lies even when the truth would serve her better. She lies because deception gives her control, because dishonesty allows her to manipulate the reality around her. And every time you let a lie slide, every time you forgive without consequence, you reinforce her belief that she can get away with it. The more you tolerate, the more she will push. The more she pushes, the deeper you will sink into a web of confusion and doubt. The problem with a liar is that you will never know what is real and what is false. Even the good moments, even the times when she seems honest, will be tainted by the knowledge that she is capable of deception. How do you know that her love is real? How do you know that the person she presents to you is the truth and not just another carefully crafted illusion? The answer is, you don't. And that uncertainty will eat away at you. A Stoic man does not tolerate dishonesty. He does not play games. He does not engage in endless cycles of doubt and reconciliation. He knows that a relationship built on lies will always crumble. If a woman cannot be truthful about the small things, she cannot be trusted with the big things. And trust, once broken, can never be fully repaired. You might think that she will change, that if you are patient enough, if you love her enough, she will stop lying. But a woman who lies effortlessly does not change. She only adapts, finding new ways to deceive, learning how to manipulate more effectively. If you have to question whether she is telling you the truth, you already have your answer. A Stoic man does not waste time trying to fix a woman who refuses to be honest. He does not let himself be drawn into a cycle of suspicion and guilt. He values his peace, his sanity, and his dignity. When he sees the pattern, when he recognizes the signs, he does not make excuses, he walks away. Because a man who respects himself knows that a woman who thrives on deception will never be worthy of his trust. Chapter 5. Snooping. A woman who does not trust you will try to control you. She will check your phone when you are not looking, go through your personal belongings, and even demand access to your private conversations. She will justify this by saying, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to worry about. But in reality, this is not about trust, it is about power. She does not respect your privacy, and she sees you as something to be monitored, not as an individual with autonomy. At first, it may seem harmless. Maybe she playfully asks to see your phone, or she casually glances at your messages when you are texting. You might even laugh it off, thinking it's just curiosity. But over time, it escalates. She begins demanding passwords, asking where you are at all times, and interpreting every interaction with another woman as a potential betrayal. What started as occasional suspicion transforms into an obsessive need to control every aspect of your life. If you try to set boundaries, she will frame it as secrecy. Why won't you let me see? What are you hiding? It becomes a test, a battle you cannot win. Either you surrender your privacy and allow her to dictate your actions, or you resist and get accused of being unfaithful. In both cases, the problem is not yours, it is hers. A woman who snoops is not just insecure, she is fundamentally incapable of trust. A healthy relationship is built on mutual respect and faith in one another. A woman who constantly checks up on you, who doubts your every move, is revealing more about herself than about you. She is projecting her own fears, her own lack of self-worth, onto the relationship. Instead of facing her own insecurities, she tries to control you, believing that if she watches you closely enough, she can prevent heartbreak. But a relationship that is maintained through surveillance and paranoia is not a relationship, it is a prison. This behavior is not love. It is insecurity disguised as concern. And once a woman starts snooping, the relationship is already broken. You might think that if you prove yourself enough, if you reassure her, if you open up every part of your life to her scrutiny, she will finally relax. But this will never happen. A woman who distrusts you without reason will always find something to be suspicious of. The more you comply, the more she will demand. She will convince herself that if she just looks a little harder, she will find proof of whatever betrayal she has imagined. She will twist innocent interactions into signs of deceit, and she will keep pushing until she drives you away. A Stoic man does not stay with a woman who invades his privacy. He does not justify her paranoia or entertain endless accusations. He understands that trust is earned, not forced. And if a woman does not trust him, she has no business being with him. Trust is not something that can be negotiated or debated. It either exists or it does not. A relationship without trust is nothing but a slow-moving disaster, a ticking time bomb waiting to explode. When a woman shows you who she is, believe her. If she snoops, if she spies, if she invades your personal space without hesitation, do not expect her to change. Do not fall into the trap of thinking that she will one day become more secure, more trusting. A woman who violates your privacy does not love you, she loves control. And a man who values his peace, his independence, and his dignity will never allow himself to be controlled. He will recognize the warning signs, and instead of trying to fix what is already broken, he will walk away. Chapter 6. She has no female friends. A woman's ability to maintain friendships is a direct reflection of her emotional health. Friendships, especially those with other women, require trust, loyalty, and emotional maturity. If she has no female friends, or if every friendship she has ever had has ended in disaster, this is a massive red flag. She will offer excuses. Women are too jealous of me. I just get along better with guys. Or if I've been betrayed too many times. But the truth is much simpler. She is the common denominator in all her failed relationships. Friendship breakdowns happen. People grow apart, and misunderstandings occur. But when a woman has a history of repeated falling outs, when every female friendship ends in betrayal, drama, or chaos, the pattern is undeniable. She is not the victim, she is the cause. A woman who cannot sustain healthy relationships with other women is often manipulative, self-centered, and emotionally unstable. She burns bridges wherever she goes, creating enemies instead of allies. At first, she may seem charming and easygoing. She may tell you how much drama she has endured in the past and how she has been wronged by others. But over time, you will start to see the cracks. She will stir up conflict, gossip constantly, and always paint herself as the misunderstood victim. The very same destructive energy that drove her female friends away will eventually be directed at you. A woman with no female friends is rarely alone, she just surrounds herself with men instead. She will keep male friends around, men who are clearly interested in her, but whom she insists are just friends. In reality, these men serve as emotional crutches, sources of validation that she depends on to maintain her self-esteem. She thrives on male attention, using it to fill the emotional void that healthy female friendships would normally occupy. This is a dangerous cycle. A woman who relies solely on men for her emotional needs is often deeply insecure. She does not know how to stand on her own, nor does she want to. She manipulates, plays mind games, and enjoys the power of keeping men orbiting around her, always available to boost her ego. And if you enter a relationship with her, you will soon realize that you are just another piece in this never-ending game. This type of woman is emotionally exhausting. She demands constant reassurance, creates unnecessary drama, and struggles with genuine intimacy. She is used to short-lived relationships, both friendships and romances, because she lacks the emotional depth to sustain them. She thrives on attention, but not on real connection. If she cannot maintain close female friendships, what makes you think she can maintain a stable, healthy relationship with you? The same behaviors that drove other women away, pettiness, jealousy, manipulation, will eventually be turned on you. A woman who cannot get along with other women is not a mystery to be solved or a puzzle to be figured out. She is a warning sign, a flashing red light that tells you to stay far away. A Stoic man does not ignore these signs. He does not allow himself to be blinded by charm, beauty, or surface-level attraction. He observes, he analyzes, and he sees people for who they truly are. And when he encounters a woman who has left a trail of broken friendships in her wake, he knows exactly what to do. He does not rationalize her behavior. He does not convince himself that she will be different with me. He understands that patterns do not lie. If she has failed at every female friendship, she will eventually fail at being a good partner, too. And so, without anger, without drama, and without hesitation, he walks away. Chapter 7. She thrives on drama. An emotionally unstable woman cannot survive without chaos. It is her fuel, her addiction, and her default way of engaging with the world. She does not seek stability, she fears it. A peaceful, steady relationship feels suffocating to her because it denies her the emotional highs and lows she craves. Without conflict, she feels empty, so she manufactures problems out of thin air. She will turn minor inconveniences into full-scale battles. She will misinterpret your words, assume the worst intentions, and accuse you of things you never did, all to stir up emotional turmoil. If you try to resolve issues with logic, she will reject it, because resolution is not her goal, the drama is. At first, you may mistake this for passion. You might tell yourself that she is just emotional or expressive. You may even believe that this intensity means she deeply cares about you. But what you are actually dealing with is a woman who is addicted to emotional extremes. Her highs may be intoxicating, but they come at the cost of unpredictable, destructive lows. One moment, she will shower you with love and admiration, and the next, she will be screaming, accusing, or threatening to leave. The cycle is relentless. You will feel constantly on edge, never knowing when the next explosion will come. And no matter how much effort you put in to keep things smooth, she will find a way to create turbulence. A woman like this craves emotional attention, whether positive or negative. If you are not giving her enough validation, she will create drama to force you into engagement. She will pick fights over the smallest things, push your buttons deliberately, and provoke reactions just to see how much power she has over you. If you try to remain calm, she will escalate. She will insult, cry, or play the victim, doing whatever it takes to pull you into her emotional storm. And the moment you react, she will turn the blame on you. Suddenly, you are the villain, and she is the wounded party. This is how she maintains control, by keeping you on an emotional leash, constantly trying to regain the peace that she is actively destroying. A Stoic man does not engage in this game. He recognizes emotional chaos for what it is, a trap designed to steal his energy and focus. He does not allow himself to be dragged into pointless battles that serve no purpose other than to feed her addiction to drama. He knows that a relationship should bring peace, not turmoil. Instead of getting caught up in the endless cycle of conflict, he steps back and observes. He sees that no amount of reasoning, compromise, or patience will change a woman who thrives on disorder. A weak man believes he can fix her. He tells himself that if he just loves her enough, if he just communicates better, if he just tries harder, she will finally calm down. But this is a fantasy. A woman addicted to drama does not want peace. She is not looking for a solution, she is looking for a reaction. The more you try to fix things, the more fuel you give her to continue the cycle. A Stoic man understands this. He does not try to heal someone who refuses to be healed. He does not waste his time fighting battles that cannot be won. When he sees a woman who thrives on drama, he does not argue, he does not engage, and he does not try to prove his point. He simply walks away, knowing that a life spent in emotional chaos is not a life worth living. A man who values his peace and self-respect does not tolerate emotional instability. He does not let chaos, manipulation, or unnecessary drama take root in his life. A Stoic man walks away from women who drain his energy, disrupt his focus, and bring nothing but turmoil. Because he knows that a relationship should enhance his life, not destroy it. The warning signs are always there. If a woman constantly plays the victim, controls you with jealousy, rushes into commitment, lies, invades your privacy, has no real friendships, or thrives on drama, you must recognize the truth. This is not a woman who will bring you peace. She will test your patience, break your spirit, and leave you questioning your own sanity. Do not ignore the red flags. Do not let emotional attachment blind you to reality. A Stoic man does not try to fix a woman who refuses to fix herself. He does not engage in emotional chaos, nor does he let a toxic relationship define him. He values his time, his mental clarity, and his emotional well-being above all else. And when a woman proves that she is unstable, he does the only logical thing: he walks away without regret. If you've ever encountered a woman like this, share your experience in the comments. Let other men learn from your story. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another lesson in Stoicism and male self-mastery.